Hello everyone, welcome to ChessVisor. Today I'm going to start a new series from Leeches, that is Leeches Game of the Month. I am telling you it is very exciting series and you're going to enjoy this game, and also you're going to go back in the time and the game is going to feel like that it is being played in the 18th century. And without much delay, let's get started now. This particular game, was played between someone with a username called DiGalliano with a rating around 2100, and also the black pieces were handled by the username called Ivan, and he is rated around 2100 as well. So 2076, not much difference. With the white pieces, DiGalliano starts the game with 1 e4, and Ivan goes with the move e6. And particularly, the e6 move makes this game more interesting. The French defense is always or never disappoints us. Okay, pawn to d4, and after pawn to d5 we have knight c3 inviting to the main line. And here white could have played e5 as well, that is advanced variation. But in the game, knight c3, bishop b4, pinning down the knight, and we have three options now, main moves: taking the pawn, advancing the pawn, and supporting the knight with the brother knight. But in the game, he advances the pawn, that is the main move. So e5, the whenever variation, main move. Pawn to c5, striking in the center. a3, just questioning the bishop's post, and the bishop exchanges itself to the knight. So bishop takes c3, b takes c3, and then queen to a5, threatening the 4. And now that's defended, and now the queen moves again, queen to a4, stopping the a pawn advance. It's very important in this particular opening, because of the absence of the dark square bishop along this diagonal, white is going to put this bishop on this diagonal whenever it is possible. And sorry, for the time being it is being what do you say, restricted by queen play, that's queen to a4. And now white plays knight f3, and that's not the main move here actually. Queen to g4, just to gain time on the g7 pawn, and after king moves you can always come back. But in the game, knight f3, knight c6, and then bishop e2, c takes d4, relieving the tension in the center of the board. And after c takes d4, as you can see, now black is winning a pawn in the center, and he has to continue his development like knight e7 and then castling. Already he has moved the queen twice, right? But now he captures the pawn, and also he trades the developed piece, and that leaves only developed piece, that is queen, which is already sitting on the center of the board, which is vulnerable already. And here white completely ignores the threat on the pawn and castles on the king side, and he is ready to gambit one more pawn as well. And here, guess what, black accepts that. So queen takes e5, and after this move he plays rook e1. But here bishop to b5 was a good option for black here, because if you black, then you're gonna lose the castling rights. And if you move the king, say for example, if you move the king, then I can play bishop to b4 check, and then knight e7, and then game goes on. And in fact, white can easily start his attack. But in the game, what happened? He played rook e1 directly, just setting up a small threat. And after queen c7 dropping, and now he plays bishop to b4. Now it's a kind of a mistake, because now black can actually, kick the bishop out of this diagonal by playing pawn to a5. And you have to put the bishop to this sad square, that is d2. Otherwise, you will have to find this computer sequence that is very difficult to find for us. So bishop to b5, bishop d7, bishop takes, king takes, and then queen f3. And yeah, it's a bishop sacrifice. So a takes b4, queen takes f7 check, knight e7 blacks, rook takes e6, threatening the knight now, and then rook h e8, rook a e1. So this is the position you can get. And I'm not sure whether white can continue his attack. And if black slips, or sorry, white slips one move, then that's over. So black is going to consolidate everything and win the game. But in the game, what happened? He played a4 now. So he played knight f6, and then he played a4, and is preparing to meet the a5 move with the bishop a3 move. So bishop to d7, just getting ready to castle on the queen side. But now comes the move pawn to c4, just trying to open up the position here. And after d takes c4, he plays rook to c1. I thought, okay, he's just trying to target the c pawn, which is already weak. And after pawn to b5, a takes b5 happened, and then bishop takes b5. Now that pawn is well defended. And guess what? Here he goes for the sacrifice, and that is completely unbelievable. And that's why I think it is being featured in the Leech's game of the month, that is March. So bishop takes c4, a bishop sacrifice, and after bishop takes bishop, now imagine the rook sacrifice. Rook takes c4, and then queen takes c4. So all of this happened only to play this move, queen to d6, threatening mate in one. That is only like couple of moves to defend this. Like you have to give up the queen by just taking the bishop, which is very annoying, right? And another option which was played in the game, that is knight to d5 to cover the e7 square, but now comes the double rook sacrifice, or the second rook sacrifice, that is rook takes e6 check. The main reason which I like this game, it's not only because of these sacrifices, that too both the rooks were sacrificed, and you see the back rank issue going on on the white side, and he ignores that completely, and there is no time for black to capitalize that. That is the beauty of this game. After f takes e6, and now you see uh, black is up whole two rooks up, okay, but the game is completely equal, okay. So let's see how white carries out the attack. So queen takes e6 check, and then king to d8, and now comes the move bishop a5 check, and actually you have to black with the queen down, but now he blacks the check with the knight b6. That gives up the queen, and now again white is now in the driver's seat. He can easily attack because of the king's position, as well as he has the bishop and a queen, the deadly combo, to continue the attack. So king e7 was tried, and then queen to c7 check, king to f6. The better move was to play king to e6, but he goes with f6, bishop c3 check, and then he played king to g6, which is kind of blundering mate in 4 or something. And here the better move was to put the king on e6, but again if you play this move, you have to roam around the board just like this: king d7, queen takes g7 check, king c6, queen f6 check, and the roaming will be continuing, and you can easily chase the king whenever you like it, and still you are winning this position. But in the game he played king g6, which instantly blunders the mate. And here queen takes g7 was played after king h5, and king f5 was the move which you can delay just to one move, but king h5 was played, and now you have a beautiful mating pattern, and that too with a waiting move or a quiet move, that is bishop f6, threatening to play queen g5 mate. But if you defend it with the rook, any one rook to g8, now comes the pawn move. That's a beautiful checkmate. So killer pawn checkmate. Going back in the game, what happened, he played g4 immediately. He just mixed it up or reversed it. So king h4, bishop f6 check, and then king h3, and now he plays pawn to f3, but now comes pawn to h5, king to f2, rook h g8 was tried, and then queen to h6. After queen h6, he played rook h8, and here actually after queen h6, black simply resigned the game. So instead of that, in case if the game continues, say for example rook h8 is the move because the queen is threatening mate, and then the queen can drop all the way back to c1, and now he is going to go to the f1 square. Say for example after pawn to h4, queen f1 check, and then king takes h2, bishop to e5 as a beautiful checkmate by the bishop. And I hope you enjoyed this quick game, and if you do so, please like this video, and also let me know your ideas, thoughts in the comment section below regarding this series or this particular game. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing to it. As usual, this is Chess Wiser, your wise choice to improve your chess.